There comes a point in every woman's life when her heart has to make a choice, not between two people, but between chasing someone who isn't ready and choosing herself enough to walk away with grace. There comes a moment in every person's journey where desire meets truth, and it is in that moment we learn the difference between wanting someone and being ready for love. Desire makes us reach, readiness makes us receive. So many people find themselves trapped in the illusion of potential, falling for who someone could be instead of who they are right now. You see glimpses of effort, flashes of affection, words that sound like promises, but when the time comes for consistency and commitment, there's hesitation, confusion, or withdrawal. And in that confusion, your heart begins to chase clarity that was never yours to find. You start to believe that if you love harder, wait longer, or prove your worth more clearly, they'll see what you see. But love doesn't work that way. You cannot nurture readiness into existence in someone else. Readiness is a decision born within the soul, not a product of your effort. The greatest test of emotional wisdom is accepting when someone's unreadiness is not a challenge to fix, but a truth to honor. It takes strength to stop fighting reality, to see that you are not losing love. You are simply stepping out of an illusion, because every time you chase someone's potential, you abandon your own. You give your energy, your thoughts, your peace, and your nights to someone who hasn't chosen to meet you there. You start to measure your value by how much they respond, instead of how deeply you feel. And in that process, you drift away from the most important relationship you'll ever have, the one with yourself. Readiness is alignment, not attraction. Two people can feel an intense connection and still be at different points in their emotional timeline. Maybe he's healing from something. Maybe he's afraid of commitment. Maybe he hasn't yet learned how to love beyond comfort. Whatever the reason, it is not your burden to carry. You are not meant to be the bridge that carries someone to maturity while breaking under their weight. You are meant to stand in your truth and allow time, growth, and grace to do their part. When you stop chasing unreadiness, you begin to return home to your power. You realize that love does not demand pursuit. It invites presence, and presence cannot exist where fear dominates the heart. By stepping back, you are not giving up. You are letting life recalibrate what is truly meant for you. Sometimes walking away from someone who isn't ready is not a loss, but an act of spiritual respect for both of you. It gives them space to grow and gives you permission to heal. Understanding the difference between desire and readiness is not about giving up on love. It's about giving love a chance to find you in its purest form. Because when love is right, you won't have to chase it. It will meet you halfway with the same effort, the same courage, and the same readiness you've been waiting for. When a man is not ready to give you the love you deserve, the natural instinct is often to try harder, to show him your worth, to remind him of what you share, to fight for the connection you believe in. But every moment spent chasing someone's emotional availability is a moment spent drifting away from your own power. Chasing love is not love. It is fear wearing a mask of hope. It is the fear of losing what feels familiar, the fear of not being enough, the fear that if you stop trying, the story will end. But what if the story ending is exactly what your soul needs to begin something real? When you chase someone who isn't ready, you unconsciously tell yourself that love must be earned, when in truth it is meant to flow naturally between two people who choose each other with equal readiness. You see, the moment you begin to pursue someone's attention, you start to negotiate your value. You start to explain your worth in ways that were never meant to be explained. You try to convince them that you are worth staying for, worth committing to, worth seeing clearly, and yet every ounce of energy you give to proving your worth only distances you from it. Love should not require you to perform. Real connection is not built on persuasion. It is built on presence. When someone is emotionally ready, they don't make you guess their intentions. They show them through consistent actions and emotional safety. But when someone is not ready, you could pour your entire heart out and still feel unseen. There is a silent power in standing still, in refusing to chase what runs from you. That stillness is not coldness. It is clarity. It is you saying, I am here, whole, deserving, and I will not trade my peace for confusion. When you stand in your worth, you no longer become a seeker of love. You become a mirror for it. The energy of self-respect is magnetic. It pulls toward you those who are aligned with your truth and repels those who are not meant to stay. When you no longer chase, you stop feeding the cycle of emotional imbalance and start creating space for someone who meets you in certainty, not in hesitation. The real transformation begins when you redirect that chasing energy inward. Instead of asking, how do I make him ready? You begin to ask, how do I become so rooted in my worth that unreadiness no longer tempts me? Because chasing someone else's growth is a distraction from your own. Every step you take away from desperation and toward dignity redefines how the world treats you. Love will begin to reflect your energy back to you. When you hold yourself with high standards, people either rise to meet you or fall away, and both are blessings. The truth is, you never lose anything by choosing self-respect over pursuit. You only lose exhaustion, uncertainty, and the illusion that love must be chased. Because the love that is truly yours will never need to be run after. It will arrive ready, steady, and sure, drawn by the quiet strength of your worth. There are moments in life when the person you want the most is the one you are being guided to release. It feels unfair, confusing, almost cruel. How could something that feels so right not be meant for now? But sometimes the universe doesn't say no, it simply says not yet. When a man is not ready, it is not your mission to make him ready. It's not your responsibility to wake him up to his potential or to show him what he's missing. That burden is not yours to carry. You can inspire someone with your light, but you cannot make them see it if their eyes are still closed. The readiness of another person is not proof of your worth. It's a reflection of their timing. You may believe that if you love deeply enough, if you're patient enough, or if you give them enough chances, they'll finally see what they have. But that mindset traps you in waiting for change, waiting for effort, waiting for someone to evolve. Love should never make you pause your life. If you find yourself waiting for someone to be ready for you, then you're putting your future in the hands of uncertainty. Real love doesn't grow in waiting, it grows in alignment. And alignment means two people meeting in emotional maturity, not in emotional hope. Sometimes the reason someone isn't ready has nothing to do with you. Maybe they're still healing from their past. Maybe they don't yet know how to love without fear. Maybe their heart is still learning what commitment means. Whatever the case, your job isn't to heal them. It's to heal yourself from the need to be their healer. Because when you focus on fixing others, you delay your own growth. You lose yourself in trying to be someone's cure, when in truth, you were meant to be your own awakening. The beauty of walking away from unreadiness is that it turns your pain into power. You begin to understand that rejection, distance, or silence are not punishments, they are protection. They are divine redirections leading you back to yourself. Life is far too intelligent to allow you to settle for half love. It removes what cannot serve your evolution, even when you don't understand why. Every time you choose yourself over someone's indecision, you align closer with what's meant for you. So instead of chasing someone who isn't ready, turn inward. Grow so deeply within yourself that you no longer crave what confuses you. Heal the parts of you that believed love needed to be proven. Focus on your purpose, your peace, and your personal growth, and watch how life rewards you. Emotional readiness cannot be forced. It can only be matched. And when the right person arrives, they won't require convincing or chasing. They will meet you where you are, ready, willing, and capable of loving you the way you've always deserved. There is a quiet strength that comes from not needing to prove your value to anyone. In love, the greatest paradox is that the harder you try to convince someone to see your worth, the more invisible you become to them and to yourself. When a man is unsure, when he sends mixed signals or keeps his emotions guarded, it can trigger the part of you that wants to be chosen, that wants to make things work. You start explaining, reassuring, and reaching, hoping that if you love enough, you'll change his mind. But love that requires convincing is not love. It's resistance disguised as hope. The moment you stop negotiating your worth for someone's presence, something powerful happens. You stop trying to earn love and start embodying it. True connection does not need constant proof. When two people are emotionally aligned, they don't keep score, they meet each other with effort and ease. When you find yourself trying to make someone stay, it's a sign that they're not meeting you with equal readiness. And that's where the strength of detachment begins to transform your energy. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop clinging. It means you release the belief that your happiness depends on someone else's decision. It's emotional freedom in its purest form. When you detach with grace, you reclaim your peace. You stop begging for love and begin to attract it naturally. You see, the energy of chasing is heavy. It says, I don't trust that I am enough. But the energy of calm self-respect says, I know my worth, and I trust life to bring me what matches it. That shift is magnetic. It changes the way people respond to you, because people are drawn to certainty, to those who radiate peace instead of desperation. When you stop trying to control the outcome, you open the door for genuine connection to find you. The truth is, detachment is not about walls. It's about wisdom. It's knowing that your love is too sacred to be wasted on confusion. It's recognizing that walking away doesn't make you cold. It makes you clear. You are no longer begging for crumbs when you were always meant for the feast. This clarity becomes your quiet power, the kind that doesn't need to speak loudly to be felt. When you finally stop trying to convince someone to love you, you make room for the person who doesn't need convincing. You start to attract the kind of love that feels effortless, reciprocal, and steady. You begin to live from the truth that real love is not earned. It's mirrored. The right person will not make you chase. They will make you feel seen. And when that love arrives, you'll recognize it instantly, because it will flow in the same calm, confident energy you once cultivated by choosing yourself. Detachment, in the end, is not the loss of love. It's the beginning of real love. When someone cannot meet you where you are emotionally, it can feel like a wound to your spirit. You give your best, you show up with honesty and care, and yet they pull away, avoid depth, or stay stuck in uncertainty. It's natural to take that distance as rejection, but what if it isn't rejection at all? What if it's redirection? Life has a strange way of removing people and situations that cannot carry the weight of your future. When a man withdraws or refuses to grow with you, it is not a sign that you are unworthy. It is a message from life that this path has reached its end. That moment of distance, painful as it may be, is not the end of your story. It is the universe whispering, you deserve reciprocity. You see, not everyone who walks into your life is meant to stay. Some are meant to awaken you, to teach you what love is not, and to prepare you for the kind of love that doesn't make you question your worth. Rejection is not a punishment. It's protection disguised as loss. It's life's way of making room for alignment. Sometimes the person you think you want is actually blocking the person you truly need. Sometimes the love you chase is preventing the peace you crave. When you stop viewing their absence as your failure, you start seeing it as your liberation. There is divine intelligence in every pause, every unanswered message, every sudden silence. Those moments are not meant to break you. They are meant to teach you how to listen. Life speaks through endings just as much as it speaks through beginnings. And when it removes something that does not serve you, it's an act of mercy, not cruelty, because staying attached to what cannot grow only keeps you small. It's like trying to water a plant that's already rooted in the wrong soil. Trust that redirection always leads to greater alignment. It leads you toward people who will meet you with effort, not excuses, presence, not promises. It leads you toward the relationships where love feels like peace, not anxiety. And while the transition may hurt, that pain is the stretching of your spirit making room for something bigger. Every heartbreak that has ever left you was preparing you to love from a higher frequency, from strength, not scarcity. So when someone walks away, let them. When they hesitate, don't chase. When they choose confusion, choose clarity, because your energy deserves to be matched, not managed. You deserve someone who doesn't need to be reminded of your value, but is inspired by it. That's what reciprocity feels like. Two souls choosing each other without resistance. Redirection is never the end of love. It's the start of the kind that finally reflects your worth. Life will never take something from you without intending to replace it with something far more aligned with who you are becoming. There comes a sacred moment in every journey of love when you must decide whether to keep holding on or to honor yourself enough to let go. When a man is not ready, your instinct may tell you to wait, to fight, to prove that love can conquer fear. But the truth is, no amount of chasing can awaken someone who is asleep to their own readiness. The greatest act of love is not to beg someone to stay. It is to choose yourself even when it hurts. Walking away does not mean you've stopped loving. It means you've started respecting yourself. It means you've realized that love without mutual effort is not connection, it's depletion. And your heart deserves more than to constantly be the one doing all the reaching. Choosing yourself is not an act of pride, it's an act of courage. It takes strength to say, I deserve more than almost. It takes faith to believe that love can exist without you having to shrink to keep it. When you stop chasing what is uncertain, you signal to the universe that you are finally ready for what is real. You stop settling for potential and start demanding presence. That single decision transforms everything because self-respect is magnetic. It draws in relationships that reflect your wholeness, not your wounds. When you walk away from someone who isn't ready, you are not just leaving a person, you are leaving behind a pattern. You are breaking the cycle of overgiving, of mistaking effort for love, of believing that if you hold on tighter, it will hurt less. In truth, letting go is what heals you. It's the moment your soul exhales, it's when you stop asking, why not me? And start saying, maybe it's not meant for me yet. You begin to see that every ending carries a hidden blessing, a lesson about your worth, your strength, and your ability to choose peace over pain. And here's the most powerful truth. The moment you choose yourself, love begins to find its way back to you. The kind of love that doesn't need to be chased. The kind of love that shows up ready, consistent, and secure. Because when you embody self-respect, you no longer attract lessons. You attract alignment. The world mirrors the way you treat yourself, and when you stand tall in your boundaries, it sends you people who recognize and honor them. So do not see walking away as losing, see it as returning to yourself, to your peace, to your truth. The man who is truly meant for you will not require you to chase him. He will meet you where you stand, ready to walk beside you. Love flows where worth leads, and self-respect is the language that love understands best. In the end, the most beautiful love story you'll ever live begins the moment you stop chasing someone else and start choosing you.